All right, here we are in Andover. We did a little video before this deck, before I built this one here, just kind of went over. It was an existing deck. Kind of the things we look at, ultimately the homeowner wanted to do a composite, so they're thinking about maybe doing it on top of their existing framing or tear it down and redo it. The last video we talked about just, you know, the way it was built, it was old. It wouldn't withstand that 25-year warranty that the Trex Transcends has on it. So we ended up tearing it all down, redoing it. So I put a new ledger on there, new footings that I know are up to code. The other ones we don't know because there was never a permit actually pulled for the project. So we ended up going 4 feet wider with the deck, and then we did new stairs that are all uniform. They're 7.5-inch rise, so it's very easy to go up on the stairs on that. We came out another foot, so ultimately the foot print is a little bigger on the deck. You can see I had to do a little bit of work around the concrete here, but we used the diamond pier footings for those on that. Framing wise, we definitely beefed it up with the framing. It's like a double 12. I think the last deck had like a double 6. So this one is way stronger. The supports, you can tell, are a nice 6x6. They ended up staining all the framing here to match the railing post sleeves, so it kind of all blends together, so you really don't see any of the framing lumber as it is for there. We did do all the new stuff. We did the tie backs, which are code now. You can see we added another support to help carry the load, so the bay window doesn't have to carry all that load of the deck for that. All the joists are 16 on center, that's what this is decking is made for. So like I said, mainly we build the structure to make sure it doesn't bounce, and it's going to definitely last way more than the decking and the railings are on it. So that was lit. Yeah, like all new hangers, all new everything. And like I said, at the end of the day, it ended up being a 14x16 deck with roughly 11 steps coming off of it. So we get the handrails on. There's all the LED lights everywhere, so that comes on when it gets dark, and we have them turning off at about 1 o'clock. So it's really nice. It illuminates the stairs, it illuminates the deck, so you can kind of go out there and hang out with having a big floodlight on that. We went with the Havana Gold spiced rum, which is very popular because it's just a beautiful color. It goes well with the tan houses on it. And then we ended up doing the treehouse post sleeves with the black aluminum railings up there. And if you go up on top, you can see how we did the picture frame decking in the different color for it. So as you come up, you can kind of see there's no bounce in the stairs. You kind of build them to be super strong on that. And as you walk up, you get the nice handrail for support coming up. Like I said, you get all the LED lights that are on each post on there. But as you can see, we have the Havana Gold with the spiced rum. Spiced rum is a 2-course picture frame is what I call it. And mainly just so you don't have any cut ends on the ends of the board over there. And one thing I like to show people too is the reason why I like to do this. One, it's a good look, but two, any water that runs, it comes on the front of the fascia. The other stuff, when the fascia's up to it, the water can get down between it, and then you get the rot and stuff like that. So I always build them like this so you get that runoff down the fascia, down and away. Helps prevent the rot, helps everything last a little bit longer. Other than that, it was pretty straightforward. Railing system is the signature aluminum rail, very sturdy, very strong. Will last a long time on it. So that's kind of where we're at. Like I said before, it used to be a 12x12. Now we're at a 14x16. A little more space to kind of stretch out a little bit and have some people over. And at the end of the day, the homeowners love it. And it's kind of what we're looking for. Make sure that they have something they want. So on to the next one. Well, a couple other things I was looking at too. I always like to, like corners. This more the craftsman in me of I want them to be perfect. A lot of decks I look out there, that's kind of a shortcut because it's tough to do. But I always make sure that you get these corners to be perfect on there. The 6x6s had kind of sharp edges, so I went and routered them all off to make them nice and rounded and kid friendly because they do have grandkids on that. The stairs are all screwed and plugged. So if you look, you really can't even see anything because the plugs are they're made just for it. You know, so like I said, it's kind of just a couple of the little things out there really makes it stand out on that. You know, even on the fascia, I use the special fascia screws that are made for it. So they're pre-drilled and really allows the fascia to move a little bit, which it will when it gets hot. So it needs to move a little bit, otherwise they'll buckle and pop and stuff like that. The other thing I want to point out was kind of the one thing I was in the last video, just how we need to, now there's a couple things we need to do for code here, and it's the lateral tiebacks is kind of what they're kind of the new one of the new codes they talk about. And if you come and look, you can see how you got these brackets here. Mainly what it does, we need to tie into the framing of the house. So not just the rim of the house, but the actual framing of the house in there. So you need one on each end, and then every 10 feet from there. So I have another one here. And mainly what this does is prevent the deck, if it is anything, moving out from the house. Joist hangers are for the vertical load on it, and then even all the ledger locks and stuff are more for that vertical load. So you get a couple of these tiebacks kind of help with that lateral load, so it doesn't pull away from the house on that. From it, like I said, those are a couple of things that I look at whenever we redo the decks to make sure that everything is you know, strong and where it should be, doesn't move, and is going to last a long time on that. So like I said, it turned out really nice. A nice good spot, good space for them. They're super happy. They love it. And that's kind of what I look for. I want to make sure that exceeds their expectations every time. So on to the next one.